Natalie closed the book, placed it on the table, switched off the desk lamp, and was just about to lie down when the notification tone of her phone echoed through the room. A dim 0-watt bulb cast a soft glow across the bedroom. She glanced at the phone resting on the bedside table and instantly assumed it was a message from Leo. Every night, before going to sleep, Leo made it a habit to send her a good night text. It was 1:15 midnight. Natalie also had a bedtime ritual of her own. She always spent 20 to 25 minutes reading before sleeping. Lately, she had been engrossed in a romantic novel so captivating that she managed to read at least 15 to 20 pages every night. Since she had to wake up early for work, she usually went to bed around 11. She replied to Leo's message and placed her phone back on the table. Only a few moments had passed when the notification tone rang again. "Looks like Mr. Leo isn't sleepy tonight," Natalie muttered to herself as she picked up the phone once more. But this time, the message wasn't from Leo. It had come from an unknown number, and it contained a photograph. Curious, Natalie stared at the unfamiliar number, trying to recall if she had ever seen it before. It didn't ring any bells. Finally, she opened the message. The moment the image appeared on the screen, she sprang upright as though the bed had suddenly developed springs beneath her. Her eyes widened in disbelief. It was a photograph of her and Leo sitting across from each other at a restaurant. Natalie was gazing at him with affection, while Leo smiled warmly. Plates of food were neatly arranged on the table between them. "Who sent this picture?" she whispered, stunned. After thinking for a few moments, she typed a reply. "Who are you? And why did you send me this picture?" She pressed send and waited impatiently for a response. 2 minutes passed. Nothing. Growing more anxious, she sent another message. "Please tell me who you are. Reply." Again, there was no response. Just as she was about to lock her phone, a reply finally arrived. "Your friend." A mixture of anger and confusion spread across Natalie's face. She immediately typed, "What nonsense are you talking about? How could you possibly be my friend? I don't make friends with men. Tell me your name and explain why you sent me this picture." The stranger replied almost instantly. "Then what is Leo to you? Isn't he your friend too? I simply want to be your friend as well." Natalie's hands began to tremble. The mere thought that a complete stranger knew about her relationship with Leo terrified her. She had gone to great lengths to keep their friendship a secret. She belonged to a conservative family, and if her relatives ever discovered that she was involved with a man, it would bring disgrace upon her. Leo wasn't just her friend, he was also her colleague. Natalie worked as a computer operator, while Leo was her
supervisor. Their acquaintance had begun at the office and gradually blossomed into friendship. Before long, Natalie had fallen for him. She believed Leo felt the same way, although neither of them had yet confessed their feelings. Natalie preferred not to rush things. Deep down, She wanted Leo to be the one to declare his love first. Leo was known throughout the office as a kind, respectful, and dependable man. Everyone spoke highly of him, and Natalie had never found a single flaw in his character. Earlier that day, Leo had invited her to dinner, and she hadn't been able to refuse. She had told her family that she'd be working late at the office. She had secretly hoped that Leo would finally confess his love, and perhaps even ask her to marry him. When she arrived at the restaurant, whose location Leo had sent earlier that evening, he was already waiting for him at a table. Everything unfolded exactly as she had imagined. After dinner, Leo confessed that he loved her and wanted to marry her. Overwhelmed with happiness, Natalie lowered her head shyly, silently accepting his
proposal. At that very moment, Leo received an emergency phone call and had to leave immediately. Neither of them had the slightest idea that someone had quietly captured their photograph. What are you thinking about, miss? The stranger's new message snapped Natalie out of her thoughts. She replied coldly, "I'm sorry, mister. I already told you. I don't make friends with men. As for Leo, he's only my colleague. Nothing more. Don't message me again. I'm turning off my phone now." She placed the phone back on the bedside table. A chill ran through her body, and her heart trembled like a dry autumn leaf in the wind. Only a few moments had passed when her phone chimed once again. Reluctantly, Natalie looked at the screen. This time, the stranger had written, "Fine. You don't have to be my friend, but you will have to meet one of my demands. And if you don't, I'll post your picture on social media."
Natalie's heart skipped a beat. If that photograph was uploaded online, her reputation would be ruined. She came from a respectable middle-class family and was not one of those girls who took their honor lightly. Worse still, if her elder brother, James, ever saw the picture, he would lose his temper completely. In his rage, he might even kill both her and Leo. There were 4 siblings in the family. James was the eldest, followed by William, then Natalie, while Lily was the youngest. Both brothers were married, whereas Natalie and Lily were still single. Natalie worked at an office, while Lily was a first-year college student. The 2 sisters shared the same bedroom, but since Lily was staying at their uncle's house for a few days, Natalie had the room all to herself. I should tell Leo about this, she thought suddenly. Without wasting another second, she called him. The phone rang continuously, but Leo didn't answer. He had probably gone to sleep. Frustrated, Natalie placed the phone back on the table and intertwined her fingers, desperately trying to think of a solution. A few moments later, another message appeared. "Well, miss, you still haven't replied." Natalie typed angrily, "What do you want me to say?" The message was seen immediately, and the stranger replied within seconds. "I know you're worried right now. Never mind, go to sleep. We'll talk tomorrow. I'll tell you what I want then." A moment later, another message followed. "And by the way, I was only joking when I said I wanted to be your friend. I have no interest in being your friend. Just fulfill my demand and I'll disappear from your life forever." "A demand?" Natalie murmured. She quickly typed back, "What kind of demand?"
"What do you want?" But no reply came. The stranger had gone offline. Natalie took a long, deep breath, trying to calm herself. She spent a long time thinking about the situation, searching for some logical explanation. When nothing made sense, she lay down and tried to sleep. Sleep, however, refused to come. She tossed and turned throughout the night, wondering who the mysterious man was and what he really wanted from her. Eventually, exhaustion overcame her, and she drifted into a restless sleep. When Natalie opened her eyes the next morning, it was already 7:30. Since she had slept so late, her eyes were red with fatigue. The image sent from the unknown number flashed before her mind once again, causing her heart to pound. She stared silently at her phone. Just then, her mother entered the room. "Natalie, aren't you going to the office today?" she asked. "The rickshaw driver is here." "Yes, Mom, I'm going." Hearing the unusual tone in her daughter's voice, her mother paused, sat down beside her, and looked at her with concern. "What's wrong, Natalie? You look upset."
Has something happened?
"No, Mom, nothing's wrong. Why would I be upset?" Natalie answered nervously. She was deeply troubled, but she managed to conceal it remarkably well. "All right then," her mother said as she stood up. "Get ready. I've made breakfast for you." "I'm not hungry. I'll skip breakfast today." "So you're going to work on an empty stomach?" "If I get hungry later, I'll order something from outside. At least have some tea before you leave." "All right." After her mother left, Natalie got out of bed, took an ironed outfit from the wardrobe, and walked into the bathroom. A little while later, dressed for work, she entered the kitchen, where her mother was waiting with a freshly prepared cup of tea. Natalie picked up the cup and began drinking hurriedly. "Slow down," her mother warned gently. "You'll burn your mouth." "I'm getting late for work, Mom. It's almost 8. "I've told you so many times to quit this job," her mother sighed. "You don't even need to work, but you never listen." "I work because I enjoy it, Mom," Natalie replied with a faint smile. She placed the half-empty cup on the table and hurried toward the front door. The rickshaw was already waiting outside. As soon as she got in, the driver started the engine. "Looks like you're running late today, miss," the middle-aged driver remarked. "Yes, Uncle," Natalie replied softly. "I overslept this morning." The rest of the journey passed in complete silence. When Natalie arrived at the office, it was 5 minutes before 9. Carrying her handbag, she walked straight toward Leo's office. Just as she was about to knock, the door suddenly opened and Leo stepped out. The moment he saw the anxiety and distress written all over her face, his expression changed. "Natalie, is everything all right? You look terribly upset. You called me last night, but I had already fallen asleep, so I couldn't answer." Leo was a handsome young man in his early 30s. "Can we talk for a few minutes?" Natalie asked quietly. "Of course," he replied. "Let's go to the cafeteria. We can have some tea while we talk." They walked to the office cafeteria together. Leo ordered 2 cups of tea from the waiter before turning his full attention to her. "So tell me," he said gently, "what's happened?" Natalie silently took out her phone, opened the photograph, and placed it in front of him. The color drained from Leo's face. "This picture? Who took it?" he asked in disbelief. "I don't know," Natalie replied, placing the phone back on the table. "Someone sent it to me from an unknown number last night. Whoever it is knows about our friendship." Leo frowned thoughtfully. "But why? What's the purpose behind all this?" Natalie then told him everything. The mysterious messages, the stranger claiming to be her friend, and finally the threat that had left her terrified. Leo listened without interrupting, his brow deeply furrowed. "So, first he said he wanted to be your friend?" Leo said after a moment. "And then he mentioned that he had some kind of demand?" "Yes," Natalie nodded. "That's exactly what happened." Leo clenched his jaw. "Whoever this man is, he's a complete scoundrel. If I ever find him, I'll make him pay for this."
No one has the right to harass a woman like this. I'm completely lost, Natalie admitted in a trembling voice. Do you suspect anyone? Leo asked. Natalie hesitated.
I honestly don't know. Leo leaned back, thinking carefully. My guess is that he's someone you know, perhaps a relative or an acquaintance. He clearly knows who you are and who I am. Maybe he's secretly interested in you and didn't like seeing you with me. Natalie shook her head immediately. No, there's no one like that, and none of my relatives would ever do something so disgusting. Leo sighed. You never know. People can surprise you. Just then, the waiter placed 2 cups of tea on the table. They both remained silent until he walked away. Only then did Leo continue. I think he's going to ask for money. I've thought about that too, Natalie admitted. But where would I get that kind of money? If my family finds out, it'll be a disaster. My brothers are extremely strict. They might even kill me. Leo looked at her reassuringly. Don't panic. We'll deal with this together. First, we need to find out who he is. Natalie nodded, though the worry on her face remained. Come on, Leo said softly, pushing the cup toward her. Drink your tea. She lifted the cup with trembling hands. The rest of the day passed in a blur of work. By evening, Natalie returned home completely exhausted. She asked her mother to make her a cup of tea and went to sit alone in the lawn.
She had barely taken a sip when her phone vibrated. Her heart lurched. She slowly picked up the phone. Another message had arrived from the same unknown number. Taking a deep breath, she opened it. Hello, Miss Natalie. How are you? How was your day? I suppose you've already told Leo about me. Natalie stared at the message for several seconds before immediately placing a WhatsApp call. The call rang. The profile picture showed nothing but a flower. After the 3rd ring, the call was disconnected. Annoyed, she dialed again. This time, the stranger rejected the call instantly. Left with no choice, she typed a message. Who are you? What do you want from me? Why are you doing this? A reply appeared almost immediately. Don't call me. I won't answer. Another message followed seconds later. If you're hoping to recognize me by my voice, you're wasting your time. Anger surged through Natalie. I'm reporting you to the police. The stranger's reply was chilling. Go ahead, but before the police can do anything, your picture with Leo will already be all over social media. I'm watching you. I know you're at home right now.
Natalie's fingers trembled as she typed. Who are you? What do you want? The stranger responded with nothing more than a laughing emoji. Then another message appeared. 20 million rupees. Natalie's eyes widened. 20 million? She could hardly believe what she was reading. Are you out of your mind? She typed. The reply came instantly. Not yet. But if you refuse my demand, I just might lose it. And if that happens, your picture will be everywhere. Natalie felt tears sting her eyes. She whispered helplessly, Oh God, what am I supposed to do? Then she typed, I'm sorry, I don't have that kind of money. I beg you, for God's sake, leave me alone. The stranger's answer was merciless. Give me 20 million and I'll disappear from your life forever. I've already told you, I don't have that much money. Ask your brothers. They're wealthy enough.
And what excuse am I supposed to give them? Are you insane? Make up any story you like. Tell them a friend needs medical treatment. I don't care. I want 20 million. Otherwise... The sentence ended there. The threat didn't need to be completed. Natalie understood it perfectly. Just then, Natalie's mother came into the lawn to collect the tea tray. Natalie? She jumped as though a bomb had exploded beneath her feet. The phone slipped from her trembling hand and landed on the grass. She hurriedly picked it up. Her mother looked at her with growing concern. Natalie? Why has all the color drained from your face?
Nothing, Mom, she stammered, struggling to hide her panic. You haven't even touched your tea, her mother said, glancing at the untouched cup. My dear, if something is bothering you, tell me. Maybe I can help.
It's nothing, Mom, Natalie replied, forcing a smile. You startled me when you came so suddenly. The tea has gone cold now, her mother sighed, picking up the cup before returning to the kitchen. Natalie watched her walk away before looking back at her phone. Several new messages had already arrived. Miss Natalie, you still haven't replied. I've been waiting for quite a while. A few seconds later, another message appeared. This is my final message. I'm giving you 3 days. If you don't arrange 20 million rupees within that time, I'll upload your pictures with Leo on social media. 3 days. No more. Goodbye. Natalie felt as though the ground had disappeared beneath her feet. She was trapped, unable to see any way out. Without thinking twice, she called the number. As expected, it was offline. The man had switched off his phone completely after repeatedly rejecting her calls. You filthy coward, she muttered through clenched teeth. Immediately, she called Leo. After exchanging greetings, Leo asked anxiously, "Did that disgusting man contact you again?" "Yes," Natalie replied. "I was just talking to him." "What did he say?" "He wants 20 million rupees. Leo fell silent for a moment. "What?" "He says if I don't pay, he'll upload our picture on social media. He's given me only 3 days. Her voice trembled with fear. "I'm really scared, Leo." For the first time, even Leo sounded deeply worried. "This is serious. So what should I do?" Natalie asked helplessly. Leo sighed. "I honestly don't know what advice to give you. If I had that kind of money, I'd pay him myself." "I know," Natalie replied quietly, "but we have to do something. I can't possibly arrange such a huge amount, and if my family finds out, my brothers will kill both of us." Leo's voice softened with regret. "This is all because of me. I shouldn't have invited you to dinner. I'm truly sorry you've been dragged into this because of me. It's not your fault, Natalie, though the fear in her heart refused to fade." In her heart refused to fade. A girl's honor is extremely fragile. Once her reputation is stained, the mark never disappears. She paused before adding, "I'll try to think of something." "Whatever you decide," Leo said firmly, "please let me know first. You're not alone in this. I'll stand by you, no matter what." "Oh, thank you, Leo." After ending the call, Natalie sat motionless for several minutes. Finally, an idea came to her. The next morning, she would visit the mobile network company that had issued the stranger's SIM card. Perhaps they could provide information about the owner of the number. Clinging to that small ray of hope, she went to her room. The following morning, as soon as Natalie entered the office corridor, Leo greeted her. "Good morning, Miss Natalie. Did that scoundrel contact you again?" She immediately looked around nervously. "Please lower your voice." "Oh, I'm sorry." Realizing his mistake, Leo glanced around the corridor. Fortunately, no one else was nearby. "No," Natalie replied. "He hasn't contacted me again. I tried calling him because I wanted to hear his voice, but his phone was switched off. He's even disappeared from WhatsApp. Still, he can't hide forever." Her expression hardened with determination. "I've decided what I'm going to do." Leo
Looked at her curiously. "What are you planning?" "I'm going to visit the mobile company's office today," she replied. "I'll file a complaint and ask them for information about the owner of that SIM card. Once I know who he is, I'll report him to the police." Leo remained silent for a few moments before gently shaking his head. "I don't think they'll give you that information.
Customer records are confidential. He paused before continuing. Give me the number instead. I have a friend who works for that company. I'll ask him to look into it. This isn't just your problem anymore. It's mine as well. He continued in a calm voice. And I don't think going to the police right now is a good idea. It could attract unnecessary attention, damage both our reputations, and create even more complications. Natalie nodded slowly. If your friend can find out who he is, that would be wonderful. He'll do his best, Leo assured her. Once we know his identity, we'll decide our next step together. Without hesitation, Natalie opened her phone and showed him the stranger's number, which she had saved under the contact name, the Scumbag. Leo immediately copied the number and called his friend. Meanwhile, Natalie returned to her office feeling slightly more hopeful. A short while later, a message from Leo appeared on her phone. I forwarded the number to my friend. Don't worry, we'll know who he is very soon. Then
came one final line. I love you. Reading those 3 simple words, Natalie's cheeks flushed crimson. For a brief moment, she forgot all about the nightmare she was living through. Leo's smiling face appeared vividly before her eyes. Smiling shyly, she typed only 2 words in reply. Love you too. 2 of the 3 days the stranger had granted Natalie had already passed. Only 1 day remained. It was 10:30 at night. Natalie entered her bedroom, preparing to sleep. Lily was sitting on her bed, completely absorbed in a book. Not wanting to disturb her younger sister, Natalie quietly placed her phone on the bedside table and lay down. Suddenly, her phone chimed. Her heart skipped a beat. Lily looked up from her book just as Natalie picked up the phone.
another message from the same stranger. With trembling hands, she opened it. Hello, miss. 2 of the 3 days I gave you have already passed. Tomorrow is your final day. And yes, I know you've been trying to find me with Leo's help. Leo even contacted someone at the mobile company. Tell him to stop, or you'll suffer the consequences. The threatening message sent a wave of fear through Natalie. Instead of replying, she immediately forwarded the message to Leo. Fortunately, he was still awake. Within seconds, her phone rang. Lily glanced at her again. Who's calling at this hour, sis? It's someone from the office, Natalie answered quickly before stepping onto the balcony. Hello, Natalie. Leo's anxious voice came through the phone the moment she answered. I know, Leo. I'm terrified. That man says you contacted someone at the phone company and... Calm down, Leo interrupted gently. Don't panic. He can't do anything to us. He paused. My friend managed to gather some information. Natalie's eyes lit up with hope. Really? That's wonderful. Who is he? My friend says his name is Aslam Salman. According to the records, he used to live in Gulberg. Leo continued. I even went there myself to investigate, but I didn't get very far.
Apparently, a man by that name once lived in an apartment there, but he sold the place and moved away quite some time ago. He hesitated before asking. Try to remember. Does the name Aslam Salman mean anything to you? Is he a relative? Someone your family knows? Natalie fell silent. My family, she murmured thoughtfully. After a long pause, she shook her head. No, there's no one by that name in our family. Think carefully, Leo urged. I'll keep looking for him. My next step is to have his phone traced. Once we have his location, we'll take the police with us and catch him. Thank you so much, Leo. Don't worry, he replied warmly. We'll get through this. The call ended. Natalie walked back to her bed with heavy steps. Meanwhile, Lily had already fallen asleep with her book lying beside her. Natalie switched off the light and lay staring into the darkness. Over and over,
She repeated the stranger's name in her mind. Aslam Soman. She knew the names of almost every cousin and distant relative, yet she had never heard this name before.
"What are you thinking about, sis?" Natalie looked up. It was Sunday. She was sitting quietly in the garden when Lily came over and sat beside her. "I've noticed something for the past few days," Lily said gently. "You've been worried. You can tell me what's wrong. Maybe I can help." Natalie trusted her younger sister completely. Lily knew how to keep a secret. After a brief hesitation, Natalie told her everything, from the mysterious photograph to the blackmail, the threats, and the demand for 20 million rupees. By the time she finished, Lily looked utterly stunned. For several moments, she simply stared at Natalie in disbelief. Finally, Natalie asked, "Think carefully. Do we have any cousin or distant relative named Aslam Soman?" Lily frowned thoughtfully before shaking her head. "No, sis. There's no one by that name in our family." Then her expression grew serious. "But honestly, I never expected you to make such a mistake." "What mistake?" "You should never have gone to that restaurant with Leo." Natalie lowered her eyes. "I know. I made a mistake." "If our brothers find out," Lily said worriedly, "there will be chaos. You know they're already against girls working outside the home." "I know," Lily whispered. "That's exactly why I'm so frightened." She looked down at her hands. "Leo says I shouldn't go to the police. He thinks it'll only make things worse." Lily nodded slowly. "He may be right, but today is the last day of the deadline. What if that man actually uploads your picture tomorrow?" Natalie's face turned pale. Her heartbeat quickened. Before she could answer, her phone vibrated once again. She grabbed it immediately. Another WhatsApp message from the stranger. "Miss Natalie, have you arranged the money? Today's your final day." "Who's that?" Lily asked. "The same man. He's asking about the money." Natalie quickly typed a reply. "Please, I still haven't been able to arrange the money. I beg you, have mercy on me." The message was read instantly. A reply began appearing almost at once. "Miss Natalie, I've decided to be generous. Considering your request, I'm giving you another 3 days. But if you fail again, I'll upload the picture. Goodbye." The stranger went offline. Natalie let out a long breath of relief. "What did he say?" Lily asked anxiously. Natalie showed her the conversation before immediately messaging Leo. She explained everything that had happened. His reply came a few moments later. "You did the right thing. I've already asked my friend to trace his location. It's a lengthy process, but don't worry. We'll find him soon." "God willing," Natalie whispered to herself. She trusted Leo completely. She was certain he would eventually uncover the blackmailer's identity. The following morning, Natalie arrived at the office, only to learn that Leo had taken a 2-day leave of absence. One of his close relatives had passed away, and he had left for another city the previous night. The news left Natalie deeply unsettled. She genuinely sympathized with Leo's loss, but her own crisis was consuming her from within. Leo was expected to return on the 3rd day, the very day the blackmailer's extended deadline would expire. Silently, she prayed that Leo's friend would trace the stranger's location before then, allowing the police to arrest him before her life was destroyed. That evening, Leo finally called. After exchanging greetings, he said apologetically, "Miss Natalie, I'm really sorry for being away. Unfortunately, my friend, the one helping us, has also gone on leave because one of his relatives passed away. He'll be unavailable for another 3 days, so tracing the number is going to take a little longer." Natalie felt her heart sink. For several moments, she couldn't speak. "Are you still there?" Leo asked gently. "I know how worried you must be, but sometimes life doesn't go according to our plans." "I understand," Natalie replied quietly.
though despair filled her voice. "I'll be back at the office the day after tomorrow," Leo said. "We'll talk then. Until that time, please take care of yourself." The call ended. Natalie lowered her phone and sat in complete silence. For the first time, she felt utterly helpless. On the third day, Natalie arrived at the office. Leo had not come in yet. She walked into her office, her face pale with anxiety. Today was the final day of the Blackmailer's deadline. The stranger had not contacted her once during the previous 3 days, but she knew
he would certainly reach out before the day was over. Unable to concentrate on work, she went looking for Leo. After searching for a while, she asked one of the office attendants if he had seen him. "Mr. Leo is standing near the staircase," the man replied. Natalie immediately headed in that direction. As she approached, she saw Leo standing with his back toward her, speaking on the phone. She was about to call his name. Then she heard his words. "Come on, buddy. The fish is already caught in the net. She's trapped, but she still isn't under my control. I've given her another deadline. Until today. I'll talk to her this evening. If she still refuses, I'll upload our picture on social media." Natalie froze. Every word struck her like a bullet. Leo laughed lightly before continuing. "I'm not planning to marry her. I only want the money." The world around Natalie came to a standstill. She couldn't bear to hear another word. The man she had trusted, the man she had loved, the man she believed was protecting her, was the very person who had been blackmailing her all along. It had all been a carefully planned trap. The dinner invitation, the secretly taken photograph, the comforting words, the promises, even the fake investigation. Everything had been part of his scheme. Her legs felt weak, her heart shattered into countless pieces. Without making a sound, she turned around and walked away before Leo could notice her. Tears blurred her vision. Disgust, betrayal, and heartbreak overwhelmed her all at once. She now knew the truth. Leo wasn't the kind, caring man she had fallen in love with. He was a manipulative, greedy, and dangerous criminal who had exploited her trust for money. Had she continued believing him, he would eventually have destroyed her life. Without wasting another second, Natalie called the police and reported everything she had heard. Within a short time, police officers arrived at the office. The entire workplace was thrown into chaos. An inspector stepped forward and asked, "Who is Miss Natalie?" "I am," she replied firmly. She led the officers directly to Leo's office. The moment Leo saw the police, his face turned pale. "Inspector," Natalie said, pointing straight at him, "this is the man who has turned my life into a nightmare for the past week." "What are you talking about?" Leo stammered. "You planned everything," Natalie said angrily. "You invited me to dinner, arranged for our picture to be taken, and then blackmailed me for 20 million rupees. I heard every word of your conversation." The inspector grabbed Leo firmly by the collar. "Aren't you ashamed?" he demanded. "Blackmailing an innocent woman?" Leo repeatedly denied the accusations, but the evidence spoke for itself. The police seized his mobile phones, where they found the photograph along with the WhatsApp conversations that exposed the entire crime. When Natalie's family heard what had happened, both of her brothers rushed to the office. James looked at his sister with a mixture of pain and concern. "Natalie," he said softly, "if someone was blackmailing you, why didn't you tell us? We would have dealt with him." Tears rolled down Natalie's cheeks. "I was terrified, brother." James placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We're your brothers. It's our duty to protect you. No brother can bear to see his sister suffer. If you're ever in trouble again, come to us first. Not everyone deserves your trust." "I'm sorry," Natalie whispered. "Please forgive me. It was the biggest mistake of my life." Her voice broke. "I won't make the same mistake again."
Her trust had been shattered forever. She had never imagined that the man she loved and trusted so completely could be so deceitful. Leo had woven an elaborate web of lies for nothing more than money. In the end, however, the hunter became the hunted. The trap he had laid for Natalie ultimately closed around him instead.